Welcome back to another video by yours truly, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about Ruan Mei's kit further now that more information has been revealed. There's been some, our favorite word, misinformation going around on the internet with regards to how much of a damage bonus she actually gives to the team, because we have these dipshits who only read a skill and they don't look at the traces. They don't look at the eidolons, which eidolons on 5 stars, you get a pass for that. But traces, they don't look at the traces at all, or the talent. And they'll just go on the internet and say, oh, she gives a 32% damage bonus. That's not as big as Bronya's. And then you get me, I get on the internet and I call these jackasses out. But then once I do that, then they're like, oh, Smack's a big meanie. How dare he do that? I can't believe him. I can't believe you got your goofy ass on the internet and only understood 10% of a kit and then thought you could get on here and tell everybody how it works. Damn, what a world we live in. Anyways, getting back to the topic, her light cone also got revealed in full. So I'll be sharing my perspective and thoughts on the light cone, because I know many of you want to hear that from me in comparison to whether you should go for the E1 versus the light cone. We'll talk about it in this video as well. The last thing I want to mention is we're not going to go over the full-blown kit reveal that they did, because all the things, there's a lot of things we already know about. I just want to touch up on the things that weren't revealed in the 1.6 live stream. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, starting off with trace number 1 of 3, increase break effect for all allies. Obviously, this is going to be good for dot compositions, especially with Kafka, where she can re-trigger break effect. But this is also good for quantum and imaginary elemental characters in particular, because it increases the potency of their action value delay. Quantum and imaginary characters are the only characters in the game that have an increased potency of delaying the action value of the enemy. Imaginary being the first strongest, and then quantum being the second strongest. Imaginary's potency of action value delay is incredibly strong. So somebody like Imbiber Lune, who has a very strong toughness value damage with their basic attack, he does a ridiculous amount of toughness break. Paired with Ruan Mei, it's going to increase the weakness break efficiency of that toughness damage. And then when you break it, the 20% break effect, well, that kind of just like floated in my head. I don't know where that came from. What the damn, man, life is crazy. How did 20% come into my head? What the hell? That's wild, bro. Anyways, hypothetically speaking, let's say 20% is given to Imbiber Lune and he breaks their shield. That's going to increase the potency of his action value delay on the imaginary break. Okay, so that's a big W trace for Ruan Mei off rip. That also pertains to herself. She scales off break effect, so that's huge. Ruan Mei's second one regenerates energy at the start of her turn. This works quite literally like Ting Yun's trace. Ting Yun has the exact same trace, exact same. It's literally identical. Third one, which is the important one, where the kids that spread misinformation on the internet didn't see, clear as day, obviously. Let's make this explicitly clear now. In battle, when Ruan Mei's break effect is greater than a certain percentage, every percentage that it exceeds that percentage will allow her skill to additionally increase her allies' damage up to a certain amount. Let me go ahead and make that very palatable for you guys. Basically, once you hit a certain threshold of break effect on your Ruan Mei, just like how Steela's light cone works, where it says every speed after this speed gives you crit rate and crit damage, same concept. Her break effect past a certain threshold is going to start giving you more damage bonus on her skill. So her skill gives a flat damage bonus, 32%. It's going to give you more damage bonus based off of how much break effect she has, which can actually go up to doubling, more than doubling the damage bonus that she gives to the entirety of the goddamn team. So to the dipshits going around on the internet saying she only gives a 32, get your goofy ass in the back. Go ahead and finish it for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and move on. Technique, this is something we already looked at and that was revealed in the 1.6 live stream. The first part of it is cracked. As I said before in previous video about her, you can literally go into battle and trigger her skill, which means she's going to activate her skill for free without consuming a skill point and gain extra energy. Why is this important? Because you go into the memory of chaos with half your energy, exactly half your energy. Well, now she's going to go into the memory of chaos going into battle with half her energy plus the energy that is attached to her skill, which is huge because that opens up opportunities for a 1-turn ultimate. Now, the second part of the technique is something we all glossed over because it's simulated universe, but simulated universe is also a prevalent role or in-game mode in Honkai Star Rail that I need to stop glossing over. It's definitely a mode that matters as well, especially the swarm disaster and all the other modes that are going attached to it. Basically, she has the most grotesque technique for the simulated universe in the entirety of the whole goddamn game. It's gross. The way it works is you use her technique and you don't have to hit the enemy for it to apply. And then anybody you attack that enemy with, whatever element they are, that's going to deal that damage to them going into the battle. Basically, it ignores the toughness that they're weak against. It ignores the elements that they're weak against. It will deal toughness value no matter what with the element that you attack them with. Furthermore, it deals more toughness damage based off of the blessings you have in your party because it's Ruan Mei, the ultimate blessed queen, the blessed mama. So it's crazy to me because now you can go into battle in the simulated universe with somebody like Silverwolf. Pop Silverwolf's technique, go into battle. Her technique that already hits everyone, AoE, and ignores toughness, is going to deal even more damage toughness. And pretty much you'll probably be able to go into battle, breaking everyone's shields down, even elite mobs potentially. Like that's how broken this is. Even elite mobs will have their shields broken going into battle, potentially. And then now you go into battle, everybody's delayed. Ruan Mei pops ult, they get delayed again, they never get to get a chance to go. You get it. It's a broken technique for simulated universe. It will become apparent upon our release. Now, let's move on to the next one. Okay, we already know what basic attack does. Talent, this was the big one that I wanted you guys to pay attention to because I couldn't disclose it in the live stream because they didn't reveal it. Increase speed for the team, excluding this character, unfortunately. So Ruan Mei won't get this perk, only everybody else does, by a certain amount. When allies break an enemy target's weakness, Ruan Mei deals break damage based on her ice break damage to this target. This is crazy because that ice break damage, basically the way this works, as I told you, like Kazuha Swirl, the way this works is as soon as you break their shields, she's going to deal damage on top of that with her ice break. And her ice break is going to be very strong because you're building a ridiculous amount of break effect on her already. And then the ice break multiplier is even stronger than her regular ice break multiplier. I cannot disclose the information because they didn't, obviously, but just know her damage, it's not like Bronya's weak ass auto attack that pretty much does no damage. No, this shit is strong. Okay, she's actually contributing to the team's damage. That will become apparent as well upon her release. But then the other part that's important is the increased speed for the team. This is so it's probably slept on for a number of you upon, like, well, you don't know the percent value, right? Let's just put it this way though. There are units in the game like Blade where you put a speed boot on them and they still don't hit the threshold to go twice. The threshold being 133 to 134 speed value. So with her, Blade will hit that threshold without having to mid-max in some speed into a sub-stats. On the other end, there are people who reached 125 speed or so without rocking a speed boot, but they didn't hit the threshold to go twice. Well, now with Ruan Mei on the team, if they have 125 speed, she'll bump them up to the threshold, enabling them to go twice, even though they don't have a speed boot on. So that speed being given to you for free 99 doesn't even have to be activated with the skill or the, it's just given to you. No strings attached. For that to be just an innate ability of hers is of huge value for a number of teams that can go twice without rocking a speed boot, or for people who need that extra speed to go twice. Again, that is something that should not be slept on. And then finally, we already know what her skill does, but it is worth mentioning something that people sleep on. The duration decreases by 1 at the start of Ruan Mei's turn. Okay, so speed demons like Sela, Base form Dan Hung, and Su Shang, they can go 18 million times and they're still going to have unlimited uptime on that buff. Whereas with somebody like Bronya, 1 turn duration. And if you go multiple times up, well, that only lasted for 1 of the abilities. Jing Yuan and Topaz, they use their skill and then their ult but the follow-up attack is outside of that 1 turn duration. So with somebody like Bronya, 100% damage bonus flush down the drain. Guess what? Doesn't happen with Ruan Mei. That uptime is uptime. That bad boy is up there. So that's worth considering. And it's actually very strong. Obviously, the weakness break efficiency, making people get their shields down quicker, is actually an increase in damage, because there is a 10% knockdown to your damage if shields are still up. So that's of high value. Finally, the ultimate. Same exact concept as the skill. Reduced by 1 turn at the start of Ruan Mei's turn, not how many times the other units go. Again, Bronya ult 2 times on the speed demons, all she wrote. Now her buff is down the drain, they don't get that uptime. This is what separates Ruan Mei from Bronya. It's the fact that her uptime is way better. If you ever watch a 0 cycle of like a Bronya Scylla comp, you'll see the 0 cycles are done like this: Bronya auto, Bronya auto, Bronya auto, Scylla swipe everybody. Next turn, Bronya auto, oh, skill, ult, boom, boom. It's like no uptime on the Bronya buff until the very last moment. That's not going to be the case with Ruan Mei. All type res penetration, damage bonus given to the entirety of the team, including the main DPS, doing break damage on top of that, giving speed bonus. Everything is going to be happening with the most peak uptime, because the turn duration is based off of how many times she goes and not the turn goes. If I didn't convince you to the jackasses, listen, hold on. If I didn't convince these kids snorting abnormally large amounts of copium trying to say that Bronya is just as good as Ruan Mei. Listen, guys, Bronya's amazing. She's still a broken support, but they are not on the same playing field here. All right, can we just end this? You did it with Scylla for the longest, and then you eventually came to the truth that Scylla is just not as good as she once was. Now it looks like her value is coming back right around the corner, by the way. But in this little period, you admitted it to yourself. It's time to admit it to yourself about Bronya. All right, she's not touching Ruan Mei. No shot, not in any way, shape, or form, except maybe 1 scenario out of 10. All right, let's just get that out of the way. Now that we've came to that truth, let's move on to the light cone. All right, coming over here to the light cone, they finally revealed all the details about it and what there is to know. First of all, that's the picture. Man, she's gorgeous. There's the HP threshold, there's the attack, and there's the defense. The defense is very, very impressive. This is a beefy base value of defense. So Ruan Mei is going to be juicy if you pick this up. Attack doesn't really matter on her. And the reason it doesn't matter is because her break effect doesn't deal additional damage. If it said additional damage, that would mean that she can crit, but she can't crit because it's just break effect damage. Breaks don't crit. So unfortunately, the attack value here doesn't really matter on Ruan Mei. It doesn't really pertain to anything, but it is nice to look at. That's a strong attack value for a light cone for the Harmony Path. 10,058 health is actually pretty solid. It's actually really good. Anyways, going down here, increase the wearer's break effect by 60%. First of all, this is huge for her break effect upon you breaking shields, and then she does it on top of that. Plus her ult also deals break effect when they try to go again. So this is going to increase her damage significantly as a supportive character, and I'm telling you, that shit is impressive. Furthermore, this also helps with you achieving those markers to give the damage bonus to your team on top of the skill damage bonus. And then there's one more thing that's not coming to my head. Oh, that's a big one. Holy, that's a big one. So break effect, I glossed over this. How dare I gloss over this? Let's go back to this real quick. I forgot. Triggered to prolong the duration of their weakness break and delay their action. Oh, that's why I glossed over it. These didn't reveal it. That's unfortunate. So increase the wearer's break effect by 60%. It's the other reason it's important is because of her ult and action value delay. Basically, action value delay correlates to break effect. It's huge. Just know it's very, very huge. The potency of the action value delay on Ruan Mei is absurd. There's a reason I said she can replace a sustainer on your composition. All right. So when the wearer used their ultimate, increase all allies damage by 24% for 3 turns. So you get another 24% damage bonus upon using her ultimate. and it lasts pretty much in the right hands indefinitely. 3 turns is so damn long that the match is over by the time that 3 turns goes by, if you're using teams appropriately with, you know, good rotations and such. Should the wearer's break effect exceed or equal 150%, 1 skill point will be recovered, period. That's insane. That means you can always recover a skill point, no matter what. If you use her ult, it's over 150, and it's very easy to get her break effect over 150. However, Ruan Mei's also one of those characters, her kit's so broken that you ideally in the highest performance, you're only going to use her ult 1 time. On the highest optimal and efficient means of using Ruan Mei, you're going to use her ult 1 singular time in a battle. I guarantee it. So it sounds, this is one of those that are pump fake you. You're like, oh my god, I get a skill point every time I ult her, but at tops you're ulting twice in a battle. So, but that's still very valuable. That's huge if you run her with somebody like Mbappe Lune or somebody like Xing Shui, people who are skill point greedy, or compositions that are skill point greedy. That is huge. Just know, realistically speaking, on an efficient manner, you know what I mean? During the start of every wave, all allies regenerate 10 energy. Effects of this same type cannot stack. So this is huge because that 10 energy in and of itself can enable certain people to get a 1-turn ultimate. Often at times, all they're missing is a little bit more energy to get that 1-turn ult. Don't sleep on that. That is of high value. However, as much as I like this light cone, the memories of the past light cone is so damn good on her that I can't say you need this light cone. However, I will say if you can afford it, go for it. Do your thug thizzle, the budget spender or the dolphin or the whale and all that, so on and so forth. If you can afford it, hell yeah, pick this up. This is amazing. But for the people who can't afford it and are trying to save resources because we have a bouquet of characters coming around the corner, I don't think this is worth picking up for you, especially if you have memories of the past. Now, E1 versus light cone. I think E1's of higher value. Did they reveal it yet? No, they don't need to. Just know you wanted to hear my input on that. This is the only time I'm going to talk about it. E1 is of higher value 100%. In my personal opinion, based off you not needing this, having memories of the past, yeah, I would go for the E1 over the light cone. And that is going to wrap up my thoughts on the latest update for Ruan Mei. She has a kit that actually requires my guide assistance. I don't make guides for every single character. I only make guides really for the characters that I feel deserve a guide. She has a quite complex and intricate kit that deserves my attention for a guide. So I will be dropping a guide on her. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.